From The Australian, here's what's on the front. I'm Claire Harvey. It's Thursday, July 31, 2025. The Albanese government says recognising Palestinian statehood is essential to bringing peace to the Middle East. The declaration comes on the heels of an ultimatum by Britain. It says it'll formally recognise Palestine in September if Israel doesn't cease hostilities. The Australian's revealing today the Iranian exile community here is living in fear, with loyalists of the Iranian regime stalking, surveilling and threatening anyone who speaks out against Tehran. That's an exclusive by our reporter Mohammed Al-Farez, live now at theaustralian.com.au. The Wiggles have failed. Not even everyone's favourite kids entertainers could talk the Albanese government out of banning YouTube for children under 16. That will bring YouTube in line with other social networks who'd been outraged when YouTube was originally excluded from the ban. Today, inside the backroom lobbying behind a decision that'll have every parent wondering what's okay for kids to consume. On YouTube, the Wiggles have 8.5 million subscribers. This is where they grow the next generation of kids whose mum and dads pay to stream their albums, buy their merchandise, show up at their gigs. But now that audience is under threat.
But do not let them in.
The Wiggles and every other creator of content for kids are now subject to a new ban by the federal government determined to bring social media platforms under control. YouTube, owned by Google, has been furiously lobbying the government to ensure it was excluded from the social media ban for kids under 16.
YouTube did send the Wiggles to try and persuade me to their position.
That's Annika Wells, the Federal Communications Minister.
For clarity, because we've got a lot of incomings on this, it was the Black Skivvies, it was Wiggles Inc. It was Wiggles management, not individual members of our cherished national icon, the Wiggles.
We're not here to sledge the Wiggles.
We love the Wiggles.
Let's be very clear here.
We love the Wiggles.
My government is pro-Wiggle.
Their argument was that they had a few, but in essence that they are a video streaming platform, not a social media platform.
Catch that? A video platform, not a social platform. Last year, when the government passed its new social media ban, YouTube was excluded. The government had accepted that argument. The issues of trolling or bullying on other platforms like Snapchat or TikTok, or predatory adults contacting kids, weren't so relevant to YouTube.
YouTube was initially excluded from the ban, but that immediately drew rage from the other social media platforms. They argued that YouTube was very, very similar to them.
This is Jack Quayle, a federal politics reporter with The Australian.
And what subsequently ensued was this very strong lobbying campaign from YouTube to ensure its continued exclusion from the ban. But after the e-Safety Commissioner advised that no, YouTube should be roped in, there was really no going back from there. And in a last-ditch attempt last week, YouTube threatened to launch a High Court challenge against the legislation, basically arguing that it amounted to a breach of the implied right of political communication.
Google's lobbying was intense, but they had a formidable opponent in e-Safety Commissioner Julie Inman-Grant. She released a report this month that put YouTube squarely in the frame. Here's a line from that report. We've used a voice actor.
The most common platforms on which children reported that their most recent or impactful exposure to content associated with harm had occurred were YouTube, 37%, and TikTok, 23%.
Content associated with harm. The report says that includes sexist, misogynistic and hateful content, content depicting dangerous online challenges or fight videos, and content that encourages unhealthy eating or exercise habits. So, at least in part, it's the adolescence effect, the rabbit hole.
Certainly. I mean, I'm 26 years old and YouTube's constantly serving up personalised videos after you've watched the first one. So it's really about, I guess, eliminating this rabbit hole effect that the regulator has talked about, where children are sucked in and spending hours and hours a day on YouTube rather than other activities.
The report also said YouTube, along with TikTok, was exposing kids to online hate, That is, someone said something offensive or hateful to a child, presumably in the comments on a video. Okay, Jack, so let's just step inside the ordinary family home. Kids are watching YouTube either on an iPad or a tablet or on a phone or on the family television. They may or may not be logged in. Some kids have a YouTube Kids account, some are watching YouTube while not logged in at all, and some are watching on a parent's account. What will this change mean to the way YouTube's actually consumed?
So if you're watching YouTube in a logged out state, it means that there's really limited access to age inappropriate content. You can't comment on a video, you can't upload a video, and you don't receive the personalized video recommendations that come with a logged in account. So if I'm uploading a video, let's say I'm a content creator making a video about Lego, I sign off on that this is appropriate for children, and YouTube checks that through their algorithms when any video is uploaded. So children without access to an account will still be able to watch those videos, but anything that isn't age appropriate will now be not able to be watched. So if a child is not signed in, they'll be able to watch videos about history or building Lego, but they won't be able to watch videos with swearing or violence that you can still watch on YouTube now. But if a child is watching on their parents' account, they can watch anything on YouTube, but it's up to the parents then to ensure that their children is watching age-appropriate content.
So, Jack, it sounds as though this is designed to force parents to pay attention, perhaps in a way that some parents at the moment aren't. Parents might hand their kids an iPad or an iPhone and think that because the kid is logged in and they're watching YouTube Kids, that it's safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it also gives agency to the parents as well. So they can say, sorry, kids, YouTube's banned. You can't watch it without an account. Go outside and play on the playground instead.
The government isn't saying don't let your kids watch YouTube. They're saying be in the room with them, know what they're watching. They've acknowledged that teachers, coaches and other educators use YouTube as a tool, like Eddie Wu's viral maths videos, news and current affairs and history.
We want Australian parents and families to know that we've got your back. We know this is not the only solution and there's more to do, but it will make a difference. Parents want to get their kids off their devices and onto the playing fields. They want children to be able to enjoy their childhood, and that is what this is about.
Is that part of the design of this scheme overall, Jack, do you think, that the government doesn't necessarily think that there'll be complete compliance by either the platforms or by users, but that they're giving parents some moral authority really backed by legislation, a bit like alcohol laws, no, you can't have a drink. It's actually illegal until you turn 18. Is it that idea?
Absolutely. And the Prime Minister talked about this today. I mean, no ban is going to be 100% effective, but it is providing parents with that agency to tell their children, no, it's time to get off the phone. And also, I guess, reduce the addictive nature of technology. I mean, Julian Immongrant, the E-Safety Commissioner, has really talked about this frequently, that sort of addictive pull of social media.
The relationship between social media and children's mental health is one of the most important conversations of our time. So while the tech industry regresses backwards, we must move forwards.
The concern for social media platforms is under this legislation, they have to ensure that no one under 16 years of age is on their platform. And I guess ambiguity around taking reasonable steps is causing a lot of concern for the industry. I mean, this legislation levies very hefty fines if they haven't taken those reasonable steps, up to $50 million. So for social media companies, it's really important that they do comply with this legislation.
Coming up, why gaming and dating platforms are next. If you've got kids, they're spending a lot of time online that isn't necessarily social media. Gaming, using generative AI, drawing, designing, and for adults, there's dating. Those platforms are excluded from the ban for now, but they'll be next. Why do the social media companies so desperately want children to be using their platforms?
Kids are the consumers of the future, obviously, and getting them young is great. It means that the dollars can continue to roll into the social media platforms' pockets for years and years to come. But kids are also very, very powerful consumers as well. I mean, if they see an ad online, very impressionable young minds, they're wanting to buy it. And social media platforms are increasingly popular medium to reach children. They're not watching free-to-air TV. And so for advertisers, it's a great way to access the market.
You've also revealed in The Australian, Jack, that the eSafety Commission's moving to establish industry-specific codes that are going to cover search engines, gaming platforms, dating websites. What does that mean, and how does that differ from what they've already done?
I think what this is a recognition of is the fact that it's not just children at risk online. Online gaming, dating apps, there are risks here across the board. And so what the eSafety Commission is trying to do here is create an ecosystem online of regulation that ensures that every consumer on the internet is as safe as they possibly can be. This is just beginning. Julie Inman-Grant, the eSafety Commissioner, she's got the ear of the government. She is very determined. And at the same time, social media platforms don't have a lot of popular support in the community, even though they're very widely used. So it'll be interesting to see just how far the government goes here in clamping down on social media platforms more broadly.
Jack Quayle is a federal political reporter with The Australian. You can read all our coverage of politics, state, federal and local, right now at theaustralian.com.au.